All right, so we're all here. Welcome everybody. Council acknowledges the Wadawurrung traditional owners of this land, and I pay my respects to all elders past and present, to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are part of the greater Geelong community today. Committee members are advised that this virtual meeting is being recorded and will be published on the Council's website. If any committee member loses connectivity during the meeting, they'll be marked as absent for the time they are away. If a quorum cannot be maintained during the meeting due to members losing connectivity, we will adjourn for 10 minutes to re-establish a quorum. If a quorum cannot be achieved, this meeting will be abandoned, postponed until next Monday, the 27th of July at 4 p.m. Voting will be by a show of hands. Also, to speak to an item, please raise your hand. We ask you to keep your mic muted when you are not speaking to limit any background noise, and especially you, Brett Luxford. As per the requirement of COVID-19 Omnibus Bill 2020 Part 12 Clause 394, can I please have a show of hands from everybody that you can both see and hear, myself and the other committee members? Very good. All right, we'll commence the meeting then. We'll launch into it. So apologies, and I have one apology, Sharon, from Councillor Nelson.
Correct.
Thank you. Any declarations of conflicts of interest?
Nil.
Nil. And if any are raised during the meeting, raise your hand. The confirmation of minutes from the May meeting, 18th of May ordinary meeting. Can I have a mover and a seconder for those? Moved Russell, seconded Robin. 3.1 matters arising from that meeting. Is there anything there, Sharon?
Nil.
Nil. Correspondence for noting. There wasn't any there, Sharon, was it? No. Nil. So section A, item 5 is question time. There's none of that.
No, we didn't receive any questions. Just for the benefit of the committee, when we publicly advertise the meeting in the notice in the paper, we invite questions from the public to be submitted to us via email. None were received.
Okay. The section B reports the budget update. Sharon.
Thank you, Councillor Marahi. You have a copy of the 2021 budget, which currently reflects all commitments made by the committee. We currently have $813,373 of commitments for this financial year.
Okay, any questions on that? No? Need a mover and a second for that, Sharon?
No, it's just noted.
Noted. Yep, no worries. All right, item 7 is the GME annual report to council, 2019-20. Do you want to speak on that, Sharon?
Absolutely, thank you.
Oh, Brett, sorry. Sharon or Brett, is it? Sharon? Yep.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Marahi. The summary of the Geelong Major Events Committee annual report to council for 1920 highlighted that Geelong Major Events supported 20 major events during the period 1st of July 2019 to 30 July 2020. Due to the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, 14 of those events were successfully hosted prior to the restrictions being introduced. 2 were partially delivered and 4 were cancelled on the day of or in the day or two preceding the events. Of those 6 directly affected by the COVID-19 restrictions, there are a number of them that still provided economic benefit to the region because of their late cancellation. The participants had arrived and their event budget had all but been spent. The 18 major events of this period stimulated economic activity estimated at $53.2 million, which is the equivalent of 426 full-time jobs. And that represents a return on investment for council sponsorship of $45 for every dollar spent. There were also an estimated 360,000 participants and spectators attending those 16 events that went ahead across the period.
Very good. When does that come before council?
It will come in September.
Thanks, Sharon. Anyone got any questions on that? All right, so that's the council. Yeah. Thank you.
Robin Birrell.
Robin's got it.
Sorry, Robin, down the bottom. Yep.
Just a quickie, and I don't expect you to do too much, but how does it compare to previous years? I know we've seen that in previous minutes, but I just don't have them at hand.
The ROI for the previous period, being 2018 to 2019, was 52-1. So it was down marginally, to be expected given we had a number of events cancelled.
Okay. Item 8 there, Sharon, the GME External Committee members 2020 to 24.
I think you were giving a verbal update.
Well, yeah, I think so. Last Tuesday night, the council accepted the recommendation of the selection panel. There's 3 external members appointed to the GME committee, 1 reappointed, and that's Julie. So congratulations, Julie, for your reappointment to the committee. Round of applause. And the other 2, and that's for your 3rd term too, Julie. The other 2 were Natalie Valentine and Brendan Caligari. So I think, well, Natalie is down at the trust at the moment. Brendan, Brett is with G-Force.
Currently works with G-Force, yeah, has a history of working with the cats, but and a history of also some experience with Give Where You Live through funding applications as well.
Yeah. So they're the, well, the 2 new, and Julie coming back to us. So,
can I just add, Peter? Sorry.
What's that, Brett?
Can I just add? The committee received, we received 12 nominations or 12 applications, really high quality. So that we were really pleased, and with the level of interest in the committee. And I think the 3 members that we've chosen have really strong skills that complement the existing skills in the group, but also bring their own benefit as well. And can publicly thank Russell and Sharon and Peter, who were members of the committee, for the work that they did in pulling that together and in spending time interviewing, dealing with the technical difficulties first of all, Russell, but then dealing with the interviews and interviewing people virtually was an interesting process, but I think we've come to a really good point. I think we ended up interviewing 4 or 5, I think we interviewed. 6 actually were shortlisted. So it was a really good process. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Brett. And it's a good opportunity now to thank outgoing member, and it's yourself, Dean. And so, as chair, I'd like to really thank you for your 7 years of the service to the committee. And whilst it's sad to see you go, I think it's exciting for yourself now in Melbourne and seeing bigger things with basketball. So keep us in mind if there's an event floating around that you think that Geelong might be well placed for. So we thank you and wish you all the best. And when I'm not sure on the committee who's going to pick up a budget and be able to look at it like you were able to do.
Right, you can send it to me if you like. I updated my LinkedIn today and realised it was 6 years and 11 months since I got on this committee. So it's been good. Don't forget, I'm happy to be a +1 at certain events. You all know which ones I like, as long as they're sport and air show, I'm okay. And I think you'll find that my confidentially, my future role at the NBL will probably tie back to Geelong a bit anyway. So we'll see what transpires in the coming months.
Thanks, Dean. Julie. Just unmute yourself, Julie.
I was just going to say that besides losing Dean, are we not also losing Brett Luxford as well? Is this your last one, Brett, today? You're going off to... You should have a mask on ready because you've got a... I thought you'd have turned up in one tonight.
I should have turned up in one, Julie, shouldn't I? I better get used to wearing
a mask for Mitchell Shire.
I googled Mitchell Shire the other day just to get the postcodes of the Mitchell Shire, only to be greeted by the beautiful news of your face.
Thanks, Dean. Yeah. Yes, it is my last
He's
one,
on the
Julie.
website up there already.
Sorry, Peter.
Good, Russell.
On your Russell.
And can I just jump in on there too and just say, look, it's been a pleasure to work with you both and wish you all the very best. And Dean, don't tease us. You've got to tell us. If you're going to spill something about what's happening in the future, spill fully.
I might do it in the confidential section.
Oh, good. All right, I'll wait for that. But no, seriously, thank you. It's been a delight to work with you both.
I just had my mask ready for Brett, just in case something went down the wires. But thank you, Brett. You've been excellent in leadership across the way. And I'll take Peter's view on Dean. He's the one that can read a budget better than anybody I know. And the mental arithmetic is sensational. We'll miss you, Dean. We'll miss you, Brett.
Thanks, Russell, and thanks, everyone. Look, and can I just say, I'll miss this group. This is a fantastic setup and a great asset for the City of Greater Geelong to have this group in place to leverage the skills and experience of councillors and committee members to attract key significant events. And you can see from the report that Sharon did today, add significant economic value to the region, but also not only add economic value to the region, but also builds the brand of Geelong, builds the prosperity of Geelong. So I think having this group in place is invaluable. And thank you all for your time. And Dean, I wish you all the best. Keep Mitchell Shire in mind if anything comes up. Am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to do that pitch here?
You just get rid of that virus, mate. Actually, you know what? We're actually in a combined lockdown area. We'll just come to you now.
Yeah, you can. No, so thanks, Julie. I was going to come to Brett, but it's all good. So and our new members will be joining for the September meeting too. So all right. So what are we up to? The funding applications. The Victoria Police and Emergency Services Games, March next year. Sharon.
Thank you, Councillor Murray. Yes, very pleased to bring forward an application for the 2021 Victoria Police and Emergency Services Games. The Games are celebrating or will celebrate their 40th edition in 2021. And to commemorate this special edition of the Games, they're proposing to host the Games in one regional location. Generally, the 40 sports are spread across metropolitan and regional Melbourne and all played as separate sporting activities under the one umbrella. But in their 40th edition, the Victoria Police Games Federation are excited to be bringing those games to Geelong. The Victoria Police, together with 24 affiliated emergency service agencies, contest about 40 odd sports across that event, and we're very much looking forward to it. Hoping that with the COVID-19 pandemic, that by the time March comes around, that we're able to host that event.
Excellent. And from previous experience, some years ago, when some of the police games were held in Geelong, I participated, and they were a great thing back then. And I think they've grown. It's certainly brought in the affiliated other services for the, boost the numbers. So it is an exciting opportunity next year. Bruce, did you want to speak on that?
Unmute.
Yep, thank you. Quickly, yeah, look, we got to meet with Danny Bodycoat, who's been involved in the police games, I think from day one, going back
Yeah,
20 odd years. So he knows them inside out. Tim Hose, erstwhile former Geelong policeman, very well known and very well loved. Tim, he's still a mad keen fisherman. And I forget, there was another chap with him whose name escapes me, Sharon, but anyway,
Adam.
Adam Drinkwell. Adam, yeah.
They presented a really good, I guess, project or event, and it turns out it's a bit of a no-brainer when you look at the breadth of it, the number of people to stay, the whole activity of it. I guess it's a fingers crossed scenario that the health of our community and our environment allows it to happen. That's what we're really hoping for. But the event itself is a beauty. Lots of activity, engagement, and good stays. So yeah, and at this point, without preempting what might happen, I think the particular funding request is very modest. Would be my comments. Thank you.
Anyone else to comment on that? No? Okay. What are we following here, Sharon? The funding evaluations?
Could you just move the recommendation, please?
Sorry, the recommendation. I've just got to find that.
Services games.
Where I find it. I can't find it, but it's 20. It's to support it for the $20,000.
To consider the, if we could have a mover for the recommendation, Geelong Major, consider the application in the confidential section of the meeting, please.
Yep, you heard, Sharon. Moved Russell and seconded Lee. All in favour. Thank you. Thanks, Sharon. Missed that. The evaluations, Sharon.
Thank you, Councillor Murray.
Baseball.
Yep, first evaluation is the 2020 Australian Youth Baseball Championships. Geelong was fortunate enough to host Australia's best baseball talent in the under 16 and under 18 age groups across January in 2020. This event was held at the Geelong Baseball Centre and was the 6th time that we have hosted it, the last being 2013. 8 teams in each event and excuse me, and they played across 6 days. The tournament was scheduled in between the home series of the Geelong Korea ABL baseball team and obviously local baseball competition. The event generated over $1 million in estimated economic benefit for the region.
Very good. Julie.
I was going to make a comment that's a very good funding ratio of 177.
Yeah.
Sorry, Councillor Murray.
Dean.
I'm not used to pushing putting my hand up to talk. I just normally talk. I think with all of these sorts of events, anytime where we can get a junior national titles of any sort, we're going to see these sorts of funding ratios. So whether it's, in the pinnacle in the world of basketball is to get the under 14 club tournament. If you can get that one, you basically get every grandparent, every parent, every sibling in town. It's similar for 16s and 18s. This is the big one of the baseball world. So
yeah,
these are the ones you want to target, Brett. I'm sorry, everyone else.
Don't you give that Brett any secrets before he leaves.
Sorry.
Anyone else comment on that? No, very good. Okay, the recommendation is that the GME accepts the event's organiser's final report and the GME post-event evaluation and notes the officer's comments. Need to move. Brett, seconded. Julie, all in favour? Thank you. The Wooden Boat Festival. Sharon.
you, Councillor Marahe. The Wooden Boat Festival Geelong was held or hosted by the Royal Geelong Yacht Club on Corio Bay between Friday 6th of March and Monday 9th of March, which is the Labor Day weekend in 2020. As you may be familiar, this is a biennial event and it's held in the alternate year. To the large Wooden Boat Festival in Tasmania. The event's been staged here in Geelong since 2005 and it runs across the 3 days and has consistently developed and grown biennially to be an extremely successful community event over that Labor Day weekend. The estimated economic benefit of the event is around the $2 million mark, again representing another significant return on investment for the committee.
Very good. Anyone like to comment on that?
That was just the great PR, of course, that they had.
Of course it was, Lee. Of course.
Well, okay. If I don't blow my trumpet, who will?
Well done. All right, we'll move to the recommendation. The GME accepts the event organiser's final report and the GME post-event evaluation and notes the officer's comments. Moved Bruce and seconded Robin. All in favour? Thank you. Thanks, Sharon. Section C, any further business? No. Otherwise, I need a mover that the Geelong Major Events close the meeting to the public in accordance with Section 66(2)A of the Local Government Act to consider contractual matters. So moved Lee, seconded Trent. All in favour? Okay. Move into the confidential section.
We're just going to now cease recording of the open meeting.